Hello, everyone, and welcome to another podcast. Let us agree to disagree. The math ain't mathin', part 3. We're going to keep going with this. I'm always asking y'all for your input and, how you feel about some things, and nothing has changed. I want to know. I don't know everything, y'all. Only what I, keep my eyes on and what I notice. And, how I said, government and everything, politicians, news, everything, they do it. They say it right to our faces, but we don't pay attention. And by the time, we catch it, or if we ever do catch it, we're sitting there like, what happened? That's what I'm here for. There are some things that we're not noticing, that we don't keep an eye on, that we don't see. I said to y'all before, this was when Trump was going to come in, and this is without anybody, saying to me or me hearing, hearsay or whatever, that a lot of the stuff that he did, and it looks like a lot of the stuff that he's going to do is blatant and right in your face. And he sure did. I said, we're not going to see, and I'm pretty sure people, you crazy. That's just, me being, tapped in, and, that thing was revealed. You know what I'm saying? It's revealed, and it is exactly what he did. He did it blatant right in front of your face. He done some things. A lot of people are trying. I think what they said, he's up for a Nobel Peace Prize and all this other stuff. And, he wants to be a dictator and all this other stuff. And the thing is, y'all, that we have no business listening to these people lying to us, telling us that on these fake commercials, I'm not afraid to tell Washington, you're going to be a part of Washington. You're not going to tell Washington anything. Washington's going to be your boss. Come on, man, talk to me, y'all. We're still listening to that, and they're still trying to pull us to these polls. You're going to do what you want to do anyway. So why are you telling me to come down, participate in my own demise? Understand what I'm saying? And I'm not talking about the presidency. I'm talking, because remember, y'all, we always will remember this, that the government runs it, not the president. So when we go out and we vote these cabinet members and Senate and all these other ones that don't listen to you, even though you put them in there, and don't want to speak to you and want nothing to do with you, lie to you, and we know about liars, right? And then we're still sitting here, glued. I'm not glued. I don't want to see no debates. I don't want no results. I don't want, if I look at the news, I hear whatever. We got to move on from this. I said, I want to do about it a few years with no politics in my life. I want to do a few years of no politics in my life. You know what I'm saying? And when I say that, you know what I'm saying? When I say no politics in my life, that means I don't want to hear nothing, none. Because guess what? It's not made, you know what I'm saying, for me to progress, for my life to be better. And they're not doing anything for my children's children. So, like I said before, the people that this is working for, you need to participate. But for us that's working, we need to get together, y'all, so we can, so our lives are improved. We need to put our money together, because I'm telling you right now, aren't you tired of the circle? Are you not tired of the circle? You just go in this continuous circle around and around and around and around. And y'all heard me saying this, around Christmas time. You know what I'm saying? But if not Christmas time, it was the end of the year. You wait for you understand what I'm saying? The word from the Lord, and then guess what happens? You're still here. But why can't it change? Why can't it change, y'all? Why can't I put my money with about 30 or 40 brothers that do what I do? Because they taught us to fight each other. But now that we know this, and now that we're continuously saying this, and I still hold on to everybody can't go. There are some people that's going to stay where they are. I don't need to get with a group of Republicans that are all with it, and then, we're better than this, and y'all need to come to the other side and all this other stuff. And, things are not better yet, but now I'm going to start acting like things are better. I'm going to start speaking to certain people. I'm going to start dressing a certain way. No, I'm not for that. What I'm for is we have to put our money together so our children can stop eating this bad food so they can start, getting the proper education that they need. But instead, we still send them to school. Why is it that we complain? We complain and then we send them. We upset with the church. We don't like what the church is doing, but we still go back to the church. That pastor had no business, but we go back to the church. Why? And I think it's what D.L. Hughley said. He said, I go to church because I don't want to go to hell. And for him to be so smart, you understand what I'm saying? And articulate the way he articulates. Do you really? That's not even in the Bible. But we'll get to that, y'all. We'll get to that because we're going to get into believing. But, I did the political right now because that's where a lot of us, the majority of us are. You understand what I'm saying? The majority of us are right now here, and we are believing that our lives are on the line again, and this is for the future of the country. When will we stop believing that lie? And the worst part is the people that do it. They honestly believe. And then you do your 4 years and you're still here. You're not dead. You haven't died yet. My wife and I, we were talking, I said, we don't call them conspiracy theorists because you can consider me a conspiracy theorist. But the one thing that I do is I make sure that you get the facts and I make sure that you go check it out for yourself. I'm having some beef with all of this panic stuff. You know what I'm saying? This is coming. That is coming. This is going to happen. That's going to happen. And then I go by my years. Honey, wait a minute. Didn't you say this about 2 to 3 years ago, maybe? You understand what I'm saying? But you're consistently, this is going to happen. That's going to happen. No, see, when you come to me, the proof is in the pudding. You want me to believe what you're saying, I'm going to need to see it. You know what I'm saying? I'm going to need to see it. And for some things that you do say from wisdom, that comes eventually. You know what I'm saying? So, everybody, I'm going to move off of this, political. And I get on with, my wife and I were talking about the other night about believing what we believe. And a good majority of the times what we believe is, guess what, y'all, is what the church taught. The majority of what we believe, y'all, comes from the Pope and them. If you don't believe me, ask yourself some questions. Why do I believe that if I go to church, I'm going to go to heaven? The pastor told you going to church don't get you into heaven. Why is it that I believe that I'm supposed to sit in there my whole entire life? And when Jesus comes back, I would love to be sitting in the church when Jesus comes back. Why do we believe that, y'all? Do you know the majority of what we believe is what we created? Because that pastor may have said, I believe. I'm not going to put this on about I believe. And then guess what? That's when the cult. Because now, while they're teaching, they're going to teach you why they believe that. I'm not going to spend a lot of time on this. Y'all are always going to hear me, and I'm always going to want to get your questions, especially for the people that, are doing this, because they're thinking that this is the key, this is the way, this is the truth, and this is the light, and it's not. Remember, indoctrination, y'all. Do you know what indoctrination is? Do you remember? Indoctrination is when I teach you a doctrine and you have to obey that doctrine. You do not question that doctrine. You do not do anything but believe that doctrine. So will you please stop not thinking that the church is a cult? If you are teaching me a doctrine and you don't want me to question it, you want me to be completely obedient to it, guess what? That's a cult. Because now you're indoctrinating me with this. Now I have to believe this, but the things that are wrong, I can't question. That's a cult. I don't care what the belief system is. It's a cult. If you're telling me this is what it is, this is the truth, and blah, 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 and I can't go outside of that, I have to stay strictly inside of that. That was the beef I was getting, with a lot of people that only do the King James Version. My wife laughed, and I said, that homosexual, that gay guy, and I'm not saying that, say anything against, the LGBTQ community. I said, but for this man and read up on King James to authorize a Bible, come on, y'all. That's why I question to authorize a Bible that the world right now reads, lives by, goes to church, worship, and we don't ask any questions. Because if we ask questions, we believe that we are questioning God. But instead, man, I don't like this. This not right. This don't feel right. Oh, you questioning God? He goes, wait, I better get out the way. The thunder's going to come down and he's going to kill you. We believe that though, didn't we, y'all? Remember that? He'll kill you right in the pulpit. You blasphemer. Do you know that there are witches that believe in God? Let me move on, y'all. Let me move on. My goodness, the math ain't math. I think I'm going to do a sermon. I think it's about time for a sermon. The math ain't math. Come on now. Now, education. Education is this education situation when now it's about politics. It's not about our children or, my grandchildren or your grandchildren. You know what I'm saying? Or it's not about them. It's pretty much about, and now here in Durham, I have no beef with what they're doing because something happened with some finances and they gave the teachers raises. And when they gave the teachers the raise, they went back and said, oh, we can't do that. So they gave the money and said, oh, we're going to, mess you up. You're not going to be able to pay your rent. Now, I'm telling you, y'all, we have been seeing this all over the country. They are, every time they mess up, you got to repay it. I have beef with that. That happened with my unemployment in 2020. I could not believe they came back and told me that my company, the company I'm employed by, made the mistake and they made me pay. Can you believe that? They said your company filed wrong or did something wrong or didn't, file in the right time, and I had to pay. I'm like, why didn't you go to the billionaires? If the billionaires if they own it and they messed up, shouldn't they pay? But y'all heard me say this, and I'm going to say it's in their laws. They are criminals. Every company that we work for, every piece of government, a lot of times, a lot of these churches, they're criminals because guess what? They're using the law to be able to take from you. That's why I have no beef with Black Wall Street, and we need it again. So we can do what we need to do, and we don't have to worry about messing with you. I'm telling you, you get upset more and more when you keep finding out what laws are. You understand what I'm saying? Like things that they can get away with, and it's in the law. I said this some time ago, y'all, and I said they showed this on the news, and a work truck was going somewhere and hit a man's truck, tore the man's truck up. The man gave them the bill and was like, hey man, y'all messed up. I'm not paying for this. They sent him a letter, and by the law in this sorry Republican state, they didn't have to pay for that damage. He had to pay to get his truck because they were going to a job. Why do we have to keep living by these 1910, maybe 1855, or maybe 1500 laws? The year of 1500 laws. When they amend something, if you find something getting amended, you see that it's never amended for the people. It's always amended for them to do what their agenda is. Majority of these old laws that we live by need to be done away with, and all of these laws need to be amended to now. But we're too busy with our hands over our hearts and talking about this great Constitution. I thought of something the other day. They were talking about Maya Angelou, and they're going to put her picture on and for some reason it's this great thing to do that when they die. They don't get a chance to see it. And I said, man, they should have done that for her years ago. But I always say the disrespectful part is they put them on the coins. They don't never put them on the dollar, or they don't change this or change that. Even when we find out how dirty, all of them that are on the dollar were, or whatever, currency from, I guess, 100 down to the dollar. You know what I'm saying? And we don't think in these fashions, y'all, that we need to amend all of these 1500 laws of these dead political guys that we still live by, and acting like this is how we should die. That is the craziest thing to me. I am living by these old laws and they don't get amended. Do you still know in the state of North Carolina that sodomy is illegal? That law has never been amended. So my thing was like, how did you you didn't amend that when you made gay marriages legal? See, these are the things that people not paying attention to. And that's really a loophole that they can pull back up and be like, oh, we're not going to do that anymore. Like I said, the things that we don't pay attention to, they are very, very, glued to. I said this to y'all some time ago, and I'm always say this periodically. When I watch these Republicans, the one thing that they do, you will stop them for a little bit, but they are persistent in whatever it is that they're trying to do. Eventually, they get it done. Oh, I've seen that. I'm in a Republican state, and I've seen these crooks in action. I watch them, and it could be over a period of time, but they get it done. Because just like right now, when Coop's out, there's not going to be another Democrat in. They're going to put old boy in there, Robinson. And when he gets in there, the things that they limiting Cooper with now, they're going to take that off of him, because guess what? He's going to do the agenda. That's the thing. If I'm not on the agenda, if it has nothing to do with me, then I don't need to participate. Understand this, y'all. Understand this. I'm just not with politics. Politics, they are liars. If they're lying, why would I even put hope in liars? I move on. I was supposed to be on education. Please forgive me, y'all. Man. The thing, with our education is it's got to the point to where it is more political than it is about our kids. And I was talking about Durham, and with Durham, they're doing this, what they call a sick out. See, we're down south, so you can't do a union conversation, or you don't have a union, so they have what's called the NEA. And with the NEA, they are like the union, similar, but they don't get paid, to be in the NEA, like, or anything, just like the union situation. And they doing what's called a sick out. And they doing the sick out because they're saying, okay, the situation in Durham, when we're talking about education, they said we can't give you this money. You can keep the money, but we got to get the money back from you. For them to get the money back from you, you know what I'm saying? You're going to have a couple of short checks. You're not going to be able to pay your bills, and we're going to have to get our money back. So they said, okay, then we need to sit out till you figure out. You understand what I'm saying? What's going on? What's happening? Some people say you have the money, like we said, you have $1 billion in a surplus. Fix that situation right there. But guess what they say, y'all? Guess what them lying Republican crooks that I know that billion came out of my money because I moved down here in 99. They said we don't know what to do with it. So guess what? We done stopped talking about it. We don't talk about it now because guess we can't make them do nothing. But by law, they got that, and now they sitting pretty. Do whatever they want to do. And smiled about it when they told us they had it. Education. We should educate our children, y'all. Take them out of these schools. Honestly. Why are we even sending them? You know why we sending them? Because now, guess what, y'all? They're getting back to it. They want to see a high school diploma. And then they want to see. My fault, knock my phone down, y'all. They want to see a high school diploma. They want to see, different things. But honestly, I'm not going to lie to you, y'all. The majority of the time, all they want you to write that stuff down. You got a job. Half the time, they don't even want a high school diploma. And where I am, I know they don't ask for it. And guess what, y'all? Now, the temp agency may ask for it, but the company don't ask for it. And guess what? They don't need to they starting at $18 an hour where I'm at. What we have to start doing, y'all, is we got to get together and we need to share some information. Once we share some information with each other, you know what happens? We don't need them the way, they telling us we need them. You understand what I'm saying? Just like when we talk about homeschool. There are many people that are, because I remember, back in the 90s, they would say, if you wanted to homeschool your child, the parent or whoever had to have a college education. You understand what I'm saying? I don't know if that has changed now. I'm not, I'm not going to what you call them, but guess what? There's nothing wrong with that. Homeschooling. They don't need to be going to these schools. They need to be taught real life. All of those years, come on now. Y'all heard the stories. They go to school, they don't even use that stuff no more. Never even really needed it. You may need to know how to read, yeah. You may know how to do some numbers, math, yeah. But all that other stuff, come on now. The math ain't math. Right now. 2020, 24, we're going to have graduations. Throwing up of the caps. Same old thing. Same old thing. Same old thing. When did we change it? I know everybody's not meant to be, you understand what I'm saying? College isn't for everyone. Okay. Everything that we're doing, you know what I'm saying, education-wise for our children to spend from kindergarten up until the 12th grade should be spent totally different. I'm not going to get onto that. We can agree to disagree on that. It just needs to be different because I I grew up in a Rothschild's education situation, just like our children's right now is growing up under Rothschild. And we need to change that because what I'm doing now is exactly what he wanted. I'm working for a company and they want me to work for them till I die. We need to change that aesthetic. Education. We talking about what the prison, what is it, school to prison pipeline. How about the school to the work pipeline? How about we change that? Instead of them getting out, you understand what I'm saying? And going straight to a job. It's something else, y'all. Before I go to what I'm going to end with. We're talking about, I want to talk about this, I almost lost it, y'all. I want to talk about our young people. The situation with our young people is this. And it's something else because there's such a separation now that it seems like we don't know what to do. We don't know what to do. They are just like, I'm on this mission. This is my life. You haven't been here no longer than I have, mom or dad. I know more. I am great. I am greatness. You don't understand. You don't see it. And they're doing everything backwards. We are at a place where, and I am, with anybody that's an adult, you grown, figure it out. See, we have this contrast in our culture that we're supposed to always, keep, reaching out. We need to keep, even if they're saying, I'm not really messing with you, I'm not dealing with you, or, whatever the case is, or, stuff like that. And I'm not talking about if you're busy and, you working, they're working, and what I'm saying? It's like, man, I really would like to hang out, but like I said, it's crazy now. But I want to talk about the young people that are choosing the school of hard knocks instead of the wisdom of their parents. The kids that didn't have a father and they just had their mother, and you are not understanding a lot of things, reach out to those men in your community. And I'm not talking about the drug dealers, and I'm not talking about the ones that got 10 kids, and I'm not talking about the ones that's not doing nothing. Go to your elders and start asking for some wisdom, young people. Because, believe it or not, we did the same thing. And it was the wisdom of the elders that got us to where we are right now. And when I say the wisdom of the elders, I'm talking about the people that are still alive, that you're walking by every day and thinking, the world is against me. It's Tupac. It's me against the world. When in actuality, you're not accepting wisdom. Get some wisdom, young people. I was talking to, my wife, and I was talking about the pastors that are younger and they are over the older, the elders. And they have this thing. And remember, I said this, y'all, that a lot of time when people get over you, they tend to start to believe I'm better than you. Now, you don't have to go research that. You can see that on the job. I remember there was a time where people were like, oh, these young people, they not right. They put them over us and they talk to us any kind of way. They make stupid decisions to do dumb things. And then, they going in there straightening it out. And then they sitting around like, oh, I'm the greatest thing ever. You know what I'm saying? And been there a year and they done put them over. You understand what I'm saying? We see that a lot. Young people, I don't care what's your position, how much money you making, get you some wisdom. Because what you're doing is going to take you longer to get to your final destination without no wisdom. See, we keep listening to these rappers. We keep listening to, I did it all by myself. I did it on my own. Did nobody help me do nothing? I did. Understand this, y'all. Somebody always did help. Somebody signed a paper. Somebody let you do. Do you understand? Stop listening to nobody did nothing. Nobody did nothing for me. I did it all on my own. Come on now. Young people, get you some wisdom. Go to your elder, sit down, put up your accountability of what you did, and then listen and say, because that person probably did the same thing and said, I wish I would have listened. I told some young people one time, I said, do you know that your parents will take a good 5 to 10 years of hard knocks off of your life if you would just listen? If you would have just listened. And do you know they just like, don't have no indication of wisdom. And then have kids, and then doing I'm doing something new, I'm doing this, and messing them up. What's the gentle parenting? Come on, y'all. Young people, get you some wisdom. And I'm not talking about from the ancestors, I'm talking about those people that you're not talking to. Why are we fighting? We shouldn't be fighting with younger people. Hey, you're not messing with me, don't mess with me. Live your life. But don't you want it easier? Why is the choice? You understand? I went through it, you need to go through it too. No. Come on with that. Just because I went through it, you need to go through it. I'm going to do that on my job. That happened to me, that need to happen to you. I'm going to always tell this story. I was working on my job. My homie, he said, we just got a place, we don't have no beds. He told the guy that has more than both of us. And the guy just said, oh, that's a shame. And the elder now. Some elders don't go to him, y'all. I'm glad I said that. Don't go to all of them, because some of them ain't hitting on nothing. You always hear me say, I don't want to be that regular 50-year-old that's telling you how to go along to get along. I want to be the one to tell you to do it differently. Change the outcome. Change the outcome of the way things go in your life. I would never tell nobody down here, to go to no regular 50s. Come talk to me. I'm going to tell you something different. But them ones that, well, so many black people done died that we going to go down there and vote because we doing a disservice. Sit your stupid ass down. God, I can't stand that. Please accept my offense. It's getting ridiculous what these older people sometimes are teaching. But when I tell you that, go talk to some elders, I'm talking about those ones that's not doing the same thing that everybody's been doing this all this time. If you go right now and you go to your job here in the South now, and you go and you say, hey, man, let's start a union. Hell no. Hell no. They say that real quick. Because master ain't going to like that. And you know what? I'm going to go tell you, you get fired. And still treat you like a wet food stamp on Christmas Day. No business. Young people, get you some wisdom, but don't get this old no good wisdom. Get some wisdom that's telling you how to do this thing differently. It makes no sense you telling me that you talk to the ancestors and then you talking about voting. You ain't talking to no ancestors. Because by now, I think there's enough common sense to know they're going to be like, don't you go out there and vote if you are talking to them. Don't be doing that. We found that out when, we left this earth. Young people, get you some wisdom. But don't get this old no good wisdom that's just going to keep you going there. Don't get that wisdom. Don't get that. Know your history. Don't get me wrong. But a lot of North Carolinians don't like me because I won't think like them. And I don't think like them because I know, guess what? If I think like them, I'm going to be doing the same thing they doing. Oh, you need about 3-4 jobs if you want to make it work. So nobody's supposed to give you nothing. And then, and then you paying the government back every time you turn around. That's what I'm talking about when I'm talking about wisdom, y'all. We got to start looking at this thing differently. When we start doing that, life changes. But if you've been doing the same thing, you're having the same arguments and nothing's getting better and you're just on this path by yourself, think about accountability. The math ain't mathing, y'all. We growing apart. Are we supposed to be growing apart? Or are we supposed to be growing together? The math ain't mathing. We're going to keep going with this mathing, y'all, because guess what? It hasn't been mathing for a very, 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 very long time. And we want to talk about mental health. Guess what, y'all? Let's start with this math. What we thought was supposed to happen didn't happen. What we believe's not happening. What we've been praying for, not happening. I know you're going to hate when a rapper say, but the rapper say, I pray for something, then I go out and work to get it. Oh, no, that's not what God did. Oh, my goodness. Please, everybody. Please, let's get together. Because we get together, guess what? It changes. And you know what? We do need, but we need a few. Because once they see that few, come on now. When they see that few, then you'll build something. So everybody, I'll say this one last. I had a homie that I was, we were working at the middle school here in Fayetteville. And this is the first time I heard this. I've heard it before, but the way he explained it was a lot better for me. And he said that he had a lady. He moved here from New Jersey, and he was at the school with me. And guess what, y'all? To move from getting paid to getting paid once a month, my God, I'll never do that again. And he was talking to me. He said, I have a financial person that's showing us how to budget. She's showing us where the money goes here, and pretty much was a life plan. You understand what I'm saying? Just in case of this, just in case of that, this is what you need to do, blah, 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 right? And I always held on to that because I said, man, would you imagine that in a crowd? Would you imagine that? And that's why I beef with the churches, because why aren't the churches doing this? You are not asking the right questions, y'all. All the money. And remember, like I said, the small ones put into the big pot. So do not say we don't have, especially if you 501c3. Why aren't, we able to put our money together to make our lives better? And I'm going to always beef with government, and I'm going to stop right here. Why? All I need to do is put $1,000 in the wall. I would never have to work again. But guess what? We're not allowed that. Huh? Only Biden and his boys, they allowed that. But not us. Every time, you need to invest, you need to invest. Well, then why are you making me invest in penny stocks and things that don't really make money or do anything? And then I have to wait this long time. But I tell you what, you put it on oil or gas or something like that, and the return is quick. Oh, no, we can't do that. That's that common sense. That's that common sense right there. Why, you get the access to all the money, but I have to go with penny stocks after about 50 to 60 years of my life. We're not asking the right questions, and we're too busy respecting these criminals when they all need to die and go to hell. Thank you, y'all, for listening. I just, my thing is to please take this and run with it. You want to do a podcast? Do a podcast. It's time out for this mess, man. It's time out. We can't keep doing the same thing, believing in the same people, the same groups, and they're not doing anything. We got to change this. God bless. Y'all have a good week.